What's up, guys? It's Trades here. Let's have a look at what the market has in store for us next month. So going into last week, I was strongly bullish in the week. Before the week. During the week, I started to turn bearish. I'm going to do a review of what made me want to start switching the bias towards the end of this video. So this might be slightly longer than my usual pre-market analysis. So if you want to watch that, then go ahead, watch that as well. If not, then it's fine. This is for my own personal journaling rather than to educate or inform, right? This is all for my own personal journaling, for personal knowledge, to reflection, because I found it's just another way for me to learn and improve on my trading. So yeah, last month we closed, well, it looked like we were going to close above this high and take out this buy side liquidity, which was something I was interested in throughout the month. Initially, I was interested in price taking this buy side liquidity out. It did with the strong bullish candle, and after seeing that, I honestly, going into last week, I expected price to come and hit this buy side liquidity. However, or clear out this buy side liquidity. However, given that it was the end of the month, we just took out these highs. Like, this is on the weekly time frame. Above that, there is a lot of liquidity resting. And like I said, it's the end of the month where we are likely to see a retracement, especially after taking out a high. And on the lower time frames, we saw, last week, this was a Monday candle. We saw this pause hold followed by an aggressive bullish engulfing candle, and price failing to go, close above that high was a sign for me that price might not continue higher up. Even though I was still long, I took a trade below Monday's low on Tuesday, and then after these candles, after price printed this candle and failed to close above, I stopped predicting that price is going to take that buy side liquidity. Also, look how bearish the candle was last week, where it didn't leave another fair value gap. So next week, going into next week, I expect price could potentially come down to these lows, these fair value gaps right here, bullish fair value gaps, and find some support. Other than that, yeah, I still think we can take out this buy side liquidity up there. If we don't, and then we start to displace, then honestly, I don't know. We will see it as price plays long. Apart from that, let's dive into the daily time frame and do my normal pre-market analysis. That fair value gap lines up with this fair value gap. So price closed below the 50% off this one last week, which now puts me in more of a bearish, order flow than the bullish one. However, because this bullish fair value gap right here is the last one before this run, and also it comes after an order block, and the low of that fair value gap and the start of that fair value gap align with, the low of that one aligns with the 50% of the weekly time frame fair value gap. Honestly, for me, if price comes into this level right here and provides some kind of entry on the lower time frame next week, I will look to go long. Not a whole reversal up to the highs. However, I will look for a short-term trading opportunity, a counter trend, so to say, at that level. And then we have another fair value gap here below that order block. So, and we have that order block right there as well. So yeah, these are some trading opportunities to go long. But next week, yeah, we could pull back and then come down to these lows. And if we were to, continue this bullish run and take out that buy side liquidity, this is a perfect opportunity for price to take out previous week's low, tap into this fair value gap, and then continue higher. However, that prediction is too far in the future for me right now, and I'd rather aim for short-term movements. On the 4-hour time frame, price, after failing to make a new high, price displaced with bearish order flow, these imbalances, then another bearish imbalance right here, and then on Friday we just got loads of consolidation. So maybe we'll take out these highs, maybe we'll take out these highs next week before coming down, or will just continue up. It will just depend on how market is playing next week. We've got this bullish fair value gap that price held last week. So yeah, we closed like this last week, my bad. So yeah, daily time frame, yep. So there we go. We are even more bearish right now, with more bearish order flow. That's that for euro dollar. Maybe on the 1 hour time frame we will pull back. There isn't really a level for price to pull back for me, except for these levels below that fair value gap where I could look for a short opportunity. However, yeah, I'll just have to wait and see how price opens on Monday and how it reacts as it comes down to these levels, or maybe it will pull back into this level and provide some kind of an opportunity to go short down to this level. And that's that for euro dollar. Similar to euro dollar, I was strongly bullish going into the week for pound dollar. However, I also noted that we were trading at a monthly time frame fair value gap deep in range. It's the final, last fair value gap that price created before displacing down with strong bearish order flow, and it came into that 50% the week before and held. And going into this week, although I was bullish, I was still hesitant on taking any bull trade, like long opportunities. And if I did, I wanted them to be a short-term trade. So yeah, last week although we closed above this high on the week before, we came into this 50% and held. Price came up with this aggressive bullish run, opened below inside that bullish candle, and then failed to close above it, wicked above, and then pushed down. Similar story here. Price pushed up with this aggressive bullish run after taking out a high. We've taken out a high, bullish aggressive run, opened inside the candle, and then pushed up, wicked above, and then closed below. So I would anticipate some kind of a retracement, maybe into 50% off this bullish fair value gap at least, because we just rejected a monthly time frame 50% off that fair value gap last month and last week twice. So yeah, I would expect some kind of a pullback into these levels. We have this previous resistance zone as well right there at 1.3045. So I would ideally expect price to drop down to that level. Daily time frame, we put in this 3 bearish candles after price put on this bullish engulfing candle, especially after a pause, bullish engulfing. Price then fails to push above. Why? Why is it that price is in such a strong bullish order flow? We try to hold this 50% off this daily time frame fair value gap. Then we put in a strong bullish engulfing candle, which would put everyone in a bullish mindset, and then immediately fail to wick above and just start pushing lower. That is just a sign to me that we are, the bulls have run out of steam. We also closed below this fair value gap, which turns into an inverse fair value gap. So maybe we'll see a pull into that 50% and then find some kind of an entry down to at least, we've got some fair value gaps to get through as well. This one, and we got this one. So I think ideally this fair value gap below this 50% on the weekly time frame fair value gap would be an ideal location to go long on a short-term trade on a lower time frame. On the 4 hour, whether you like it or not, this is just classic retail head and shoulder pattern at a key level, right? You can't deny that. You can't deny retail patterns doesn't work sometimes. It's just you need to find them in the right locations. Could have entered that on the 618 entry and still gotten a good risk reward. I didn't enter this trade. I'm just analyzing. We came up, held this level, pushed up, and then displaced with this strong bearish displacement. That is market, cementing its authority, just putting its foot down, saying no, we're not going to go bullish anymore. We're going to go bearish, and then price pulls back up, wicks at that 50% level again one more time, displaces, pulls back, holds, and displaces again. So we can see that bearish order flow starting on the 4 hour time frame, but everything is still bullish, but yeah, order flow on the 4 hour has started to be bearish. On the 1 hour time frame, it's more clearer. Price, has been displacing with this bearish fair value gaps. We left a clear fair value gap right here below this almost relative equal highs. We've almost formed like another relative equal highs, displaced another bearish displacement, and it looks like we've got room to at least go down to these equal lows here to start off with. That would be my drawn liquidity going into the week, and ideally maybe we'll see some kind of a pullback into these zones going into the week and find some kind of an entry. Ideally above this would be pretty good zone, but I'm not sure if price will reach up to this high. We've got this fair value gap to get through as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to how price plays out going into next week. About euro dollar, one of the main reasons I had to start shifting my mindset was the fact that it's the end of the month, and price has been in a bullish momentum, and this candle was almost looking like it was going to close up with no wick above, which on a monthly time frame is quite hard to find, especially if we've taken out we're above a buy side liquidity, a swing point. And yeah, and on the lower time frames, if I've seen some of the entries I take on the lower time frames, as in like 5-minute and 15-minute time frame, I normally look for a strong run up to a high time frame point of interest, followed by a small consolidation, which is then followed by another aggressive move up. Then I normally start looking for entry, and this is exactly the kind of pattern I see on the lower time frames where I want to trade against a momentum. So seeing this and then seeing that price fail to close above these highs, then fail to make a retest, and then start to displace with bearish order flow, followed by closing below this low. I had my drawn liquidity here going into Thursday, and yeah, after seeing all of these bearish fair value gaps hold in, I shifted my mind to a bearish week last week. However, still I do believe maybe we'll take out this buy side liquidity, maybe we won't. So I have to take it day by day and trade accordingly, because if I start predicting really long term and expect price to reach certain levels, and price action doesn't correlate in line with that high time frame analysis, then I might not be as confident. So I'd rather take it day by day, and see how price reacts on the lower time frame point of interest, and take short-term profits, take target, take position off at the most recent danger level, rather than trying to aim for an extreme high. And then yeah, after I saw this bearish candle, I was strongly bearish, especially I wanted price to come down to this fair value gap to start off with, which it does. And it also, I believe this is a breaker block, I don't really know, and price also closes below this breaker block on Thursday, which provides a sentiment going into Friday, and price closes bearish. So yeah, that's the main reason I changed my bias going in like midweek. So yeah, it's always good to not hold on to a bias when you go into a week or a day, because things can change, your analysis can sometimes be wrong as well. So that's it for next week. Let's see how the market play out next week. We also got NFP, of course. Yep, NFP next week. ISM service. We've got some news, PMI news on Tuesday, bank holiday for dollar on Monday, which I believe a lot of ICT traders won't be trading. So yeah, a lot of things happening, and price movement might not be as expected going into NFP. So that's something to be careful, and that's another reason to take partials along the way.